Hey
So,
everybody, welcome to Tuesday Notary Titans. Hello, hello, hello. My name
hi.
is Jen Neitzel with Marketing for Notaries, and I am here with the one and only, the GOAT, Laura Bewer. Hi, Laura.
Hey, good morning. Actually, it's afternoon now, huh? So
After,
good
oh, is it morning?
afternoon.
A good
Yeah,
afternoon.
it's a great
Yes.
day here in SoCal, in southern San Francisco. It's so big that it needs a regular part and a south part, right?
So what are
I
you
mean, it's
doing
such
in
a
San?
small city. I
What are
can't
you doing
believe
there?
it's got to have two different pieces.
Yep. So what are you doing there in South San Francisco today?
I am teaching a notary class. I have probably about 70 attendees who are either going to become notaries or, which three-quarters of them are that, or renewing a commission.
How fortunate are all of us? How fortunate are we that one of the experts on today's call actually teaches for the National Notary Association? So, welcome everybody, and a special welcome to all of our YouTube viewers out there. Hello, hello. We are so glad that you are watching us on YouTube. So, I want to explain to everybody how this call works. It's an Ask Me Anything call. So, any question you have about your notary business, about your marketing, about certificates, or the practice of being a notary, this is your time to ask Laura and myself those questions. And of course, we are supported by two of the best in the business, Mr. Matt Miller with the California League of Independent Notaries. Hey, Matt.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy to see you again.
And of course, the one and only Jen Cooper with JKC Mobile Notary in Fresno, California. Hey, Jen.
Hey guys, super happy to be here for another TNT.
That's right. And we're going to start the way we always do, you guys, with some announcements. And then we're going to go into our mentoring minute with Jen. So we're going to hear from her in just a couple of minutes. Now, I want to kick us back a couple weeks. Everybody scroll back in that Rolodex in your brain and think back to a couple weeks ago when I posed a special challenge to one of our regular TNT viewers. Her name's Anita, and she's on this call. Hi, Anita. I know you're not feeling great, so no pressure, but I just wanted to update everybody that Anita, even though she was really sick, she published that website that I challenged her to. It was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, Jen, that I challenged her to post her website that she was
Yeah,
nervous
a couple
about
weeks ago.
posting.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to give a big, huge congratulations to Anita and say congratulations for doing the thing that scared you. And I'm so proud of you for doing that. Um, okay, let's get into a couple of announcements. If you're looking for the etiquette for this call or any of our rules, you're going to find all of that in the chat. So go ahead and check there if you are not familiar with any of the rules. Um, all of our events that I'm going to mention will also be in the chat as well. Guys, my book's finally coming out, and I have a very special preview for you that you can find at marketingfornotaries.com/, on the move. The book is going to be available um, at the end of July. We had a little publishing hiccup. So we will have an exact date after the 17th, after later this week, I'll know. But I would love for you to read the first two chapters. They're there for you, and I would love any feedback that you could provide for that. Also, another special announcement. There is an event coming up in Dallas, Texas, September 20th and 21st, the Empower Notary Summit. The link for you to purchase tickets, it's in the chat, and you do not need to be a Texas notary to attend. This is for notaries nationwide. It's a fantastic event. And lastly, I want to tell you guys a special announcement about next week. So, as you know, on this call, for all of you regular attendees, Laura is our our notary expert. Her encyclopedic knowledge of this industry has helped each and every one of us on this call. But she's got something going on next week, and Matt's got something going on next week. So Jen and I decided that we are going to host a call next week all about marketing. So I want you to think of your most difficult marketing dilemma, whether it's an actual dilemma or it's your own motivation, but talk to us about that next week. Bring your biggest marketing problems and questions to us next week, and Jen and I are going to be happy to answer those for you. Okay, before we get into taking calls, I want to tell you how we do that. Right at the bottom of your screen, you guys can start lining up now for your calls. Right at the bottom of the screen is a raise your hand function on the Zoom screen. You will click that raised hand function to get in line to answer any questions. And while you guys are doing that, we are going to hear from Miss Jen Cooper about her mentoring minute for this month. Jen, take it away.
Thanks, Jen. A couple weeks ago, we talked about how confidence doesn't come from knowing everything, right? It comes from doing. So I want to circle back to that because it's one of the biggest lies new notaries believe. I have to know it all before I start. No, you don't. You don't need every answer. You don't need a flawless plan. You and your first client doesn't need you to be perfect. They just need you to show up. Imperfect action builds momentum. So every appointment, every awkward phone call, every I'll have to look that up and get back to you moment is a step forward, because confidence isn't built in your comfort zone. It's built in motion. So if you've been holding back until you feel 100% ready, this is your permission slip. Start now. Do it messy. You'll learn faster by doing than you'll ever by waiting. And that is probably under your mentoring minute. Thanks, guys.
That was under a minute. That was awesome. I love it. Thank you so much, Jen. And that is so very, very, very true. All right, guys. Like I said, this is kind of like an old-fashioned radio call-in show where we are here to answer your questions. So look at the bottom of your Zoom screen and feel free to raise your hand to get in line to have any of your questions answered. And to kick things off, I want to prompt you with our social media post question, which is this. And this is a question I am now asking you guys to kind of get the conversation started. And that is, how do you stay motivated when business is slow or inconsistent? Laura, how do you stay motivated in business when things are slow? We tend to, as you know, Laura, in the summertime, things can slow down a little bit in some areas. How do you manage that?
You know, I see it as just a great opportunity for me in a couple of different areas. In the area of getting things done that were on my list that I could never get to, I'm getting them done because now there's no excuse, right? I'm not jumping in the car every 10 minutes. The other area that I think is a great opportunity is that when we say things are slow, we're probably saying loan signings are slow. That's not the only job out there in the world for us. There's 10, 12, 15, as many as you want specialties. And if one is slow, that's why you do other things, because they're not seasonal and they're not tied to interest rates.
That's right.
So that's the other thing that I start focusing on is what have I not been doing there? If I haven't been meeting with clients, popping in, if I haven't been doing that, now is my chance to be doing that. So let me tell you, the time will go by quick where you're going to pick up again, because things do go up and down. And when they're on the downslope, that is your opportunity as a business owner to do everything else so that you're ready to say yes when the up comes.
I love that. That was, dang, I'm about to buy some Amway products. That was motivating. Jen, what about you? When things feel slow, how do you stay motivated? Or, and let me just, let's, taking into consideration what Laura said, let's say slow or inconsistent. How do you say stay motivated?
A lot of what I I do a lot as a notary, right? I am a notary. I am a loan signing agent. I do estate plan. I do all of it. Plus, I coach notaries and I create content, and I'm helping notaries on a regular basis. When I get slow or unmotivated, I often just look back at what I've accomplished for a minute, do a little review of what I've achieved, what I've done, who I've met, and sometimes do a little reevaluation of forward movement. Those quiet times are a great time to reflect on what you have accomplished, what you want, what you
Yeah.
haven't accomplished yet, what you still need to do. That I always use that downtime when I literally, when it's slow, but I'm also losing motivation and all I want to do is sit on the sofa and eat chips and watch TV, is to pull myself back to my office, spend some time in reflection, and always work towards something new, even if it's small.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And I do have the pool to the sofa to eat chips myself. So I completely relate to that. Matt, what about you? What do you do when things are inconsistent to stay motivated?
Well, particularly in the summer months, that's conference season. And attending notaries related conferences or small business related conferences can really give you a big boost. But if you can't afford to attend those types of things, local meetups, this call, Laura and I's Saturday morning call that are free, all of these types of events can help give you the boost you need to keep the momentum going when things tend to slow down, particularly in the summer months.
Yeah, I love that answer. I do love that answer because you're right. Usually from what, like March to September is kind of conference season, we
Yep.
say, right? And it's an excellent time to get out there and meet other notaries. And who in the audience wants to tell me why it is so important to network with other notaries in your area? Anybody want to take a stab at the answer to that? Why is that so important to know other notaries in your area? Paula.
Yes, it's important because you help each other. You take care of each other's clients when one's out of town or not feeling well. You help each other grow as a business owner. So for me, it's been a blessing to network and to have power partners as
Yeah,
notaries.
I love that.
Yeah, and you just grow, like you grow and you learn from each other, and try not to see it as a competition, as just as a mentor and
Mhm.
someone that will be there when you're gone. So, and to cover your clients.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. And we know that low level thinking of looking at other notaries as competition is exactly that. It's very low level thinking. But let's hear what Norman has to say. Hi, Norman.
Hey, afternoon,
Hey.
everyone. I would say one good thing of having like that network of other notaries is that you can be each other's soundboard. So sometimes you have different situations with clients where it might not be normal to you. So you're asking them about their perspective because there's certain ways you could look at things. And that's just like another soundboard because sometimes we can't vent. And if we want to vent, they're a person that can relate to us because they're in the same business. So definitely trusted colleagues that can definitely help you with like troubleshooting, even when it comes to things such as like apostles or field inspection or anything of that nature.
Yeah. So I love that answer. And I absolutely agree. But I want to ask you, I know, where did you go? Where did you go,
I'm here.
Norman?
I'm here. I'm
There
here.
you go. Okay, you moved on my screen. I'm like, where'd he go? So, you have a thriving business in the New York, New Jersey area, and I would
Mhm.
love to find out from you, our original question, what do you do when things are when business is inconsistent, and how do you stay motivated in your business?
I stay motivated. Honestly, I feel like our colleagues are motivation for me in itself. So sometimes if I have a downtime, I may look on social media and see that Jen's doing something or Laura, anybody else. I'm like, you know what? This is the way for me to grind and now like add some stuff. I would say also staying motivated is just remembering that, there are going to be slow times and using the other aspects of business to like chime in. So like if notary's slow, then I'm focusing like strictly on apostles or weddings. So depending on how many niches that you have, you can probably focus on those in order to build.
Yeah.
But I would just say, yeah, just think of it as like, your journey's your journey. So like, even if you also see that it's slow for you, you also have to think of what's that other person doing that you may not be doing. So they could be doing a lot. And I would say marketing is just multiple ways. Like for me, I do mailings.
Yeah.
So like I'll sit down and type up a letter as well
Mhm.
and write a signature or do a thank you card and just handwrite a thank you card and mail it out to like my ideal clientele. So those are like other ways that you can get to them, and all those stamps are like 60 cents.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might be worth it.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's great. Thank you for sharing, Norman. I appreciate that.
No problem.
And Paula, do you have another
Nope,
tip for us?
a hand down.
Yes,
Yeah.
another reason too is it's important to network with other notaries because you have a different network of clients than the other notaries do. So you can't split yourself in three if you have three clients that want a 6 o'clock appointment, and then you can now just bounce appointments from each other.
Yeah.
And that has been awesome for me because if I'm booked already with my 6 o'clock. And mind you, my husband and I and my sons, two of my sons, we're all notaries. Sometimes we're all booked at the same time and we just filter the notaries to someone else. And you are a blessing to that notary who may be very slow. So it's giving and then you get back. So
Absolutely. I love that. I love that.
yes.
Giving and then sharing those referrals, you're still helping your customer that called you, even though you're not the one performing the notarization. You guys have been on this call for any length of time. I'm sure you've heard my story of my 5-star review that I got. I didn't even perform the job. I just referred this person that left me a 5-star review to a trusted notary in my referral network, and she thought enough to come back and give me a 5-star review for that. So there's power in it. And when she needed a notary again, she did not call the one that serviced her. She called me back. So it's an excellent way to build trust in your community too, because we're constantly talking about building that know, like, and trust factor. But Laura, I saw you had your hand up. Did you want to?
I did, because one of the things I haven't heard yet as something that we might do is not just the networking with other notaries, but networking with those adjacent that share the same customers. So, for instance, making friends with the shipping center stores because they can't shut their doors to go to the hospital. Making friends with LDAs, who again, they might be preparing documents, but they might not serve hospitals or jails.
Tell us what an LDA is and
A
where.
legal document assistant or paralegal,
Right. Yeah.
depending on your state. Making friends with other people who might be issuers of documents like attorneys, so that we have shared audiences, shared customers.
Yeah.
And so finding out how you can support them in what they're doing ends up bringing it full circle back to you. I do get quite a bit of work from the LDAs in my area because I refer people to have POAs prepared
Right.
by them. Shipping stores who can't go out. As a matter of fact, the two shipping stores in my city also sell my book. So yeah, and they
Awesome.
promote me. So that's how far the relationship has come. I go and I drop off FedEx things. And when I need small things, I need a book ship like I did the other day. I stop in, I spend my money there with them and they refer me. And I refer anybody who's not my customer. I want to come to your office. Great. Here's where you want to go. Cheryl's the owner of that store. Go see her. So it's okay. I don't see them as competition because they take care of customers that really aren't my customers. They don't need the mobile service.
Yeah.
So those are other ways that you can be working on your business, developing relationships with those people who aren't another notary, but they are people that are adjacent to your customer base.
I love that. That's so smart, Laura. And Jen, see your hand up. I want to say this before it leaves my mind because I think it was Paula that danced around this a little bit. But the other notaries, befriending other notaries too. There's so many of us. I talk to so many of you guys with coaching calls and other calls that I do. And I talk to you privately. And I know there's so many of you whose families don't understand what you're doing. Your spouse, your partner, your family doesn't get it. How in the world are you going to make any kind of money as a notary with a notary stamp? And they're not willing to hear you when, because they've decided in their head. And I will tell you from personal experience as an entrepreneur and a human that when you go through a lot of changes like that, because you all know and nod if you've got your camera on to agree with me, as you go down this entrepreneurial path, you change as a person, it affects you. And people are not exactly crazy about change, and they want to kind of keep us all in the little box that they're used to, right? So having another notary, a trusted notary, especially as a referral partner, and all the things we've said, but just somebody that you can really trust about to talk to about your feelings is so important for those of you who don't have those supportive families or partners. And just like coming to this call, there's so much support just on this call as well. So I had to say that. But Jen, what do you got? What do you got for us, girl?
No, I'm glad you said that because that's important for us to acknowledge. Because I
Yeah.
had the same problem coming in as a notary. I actually 3 years in, my mom's still sending me job offers, like job listings. So I get it. But what I wanted to talk about was what Laura talked about, and I wanted to let you guys know that some of you might look at when Laura Buer says, I do this and I do this, and think, well, yeah, but you're Laura Buer. But I want to tell you that she's a notary like us, and I have a notary on this call, and I don't even think she can get on. She might be driving, but she went into our local UPS and basically said, hi, I'm a notary, and I know that you guys don't like to do all certain notarizations, and I know that sometimes there's things that you guys want to refuse out, but here's my card. You can just send people to me. And they send her work all the time just because they won't do trust signings. There's things that they won't handle. They don't late night things, or if their notary's not in the office. So what Laura is doing is being done by other notaries too. So I highly encourage you to march yourselves into those offices and introduce yourself to the staff. I've done things when there's not a notary on staff. And I see people coming in looking for a notary. I've posted up in a parking lot with when my car had a sign on it and said, I can do your notarization. And that also encouraged that office to now start calling me or sending people to me because I did that
That's
to help the
awesome,
people that were looking for notaries. So I just want you guys to know it does work. It's a great relationship to have. And I've seen it firsthand. So
yeah.
that's my piece.
My shipping center is the same way. Like they love sending business my way because FedEx no longer has a notary on staff. And I know this, and FedEx knows this, but the population of my town still thinks that they can go into FedEx and have something notarized. And it's so easy for them to say, no, we don't do it. But here is somebody that can help you and, just hand over the card. It's the same concept. When I was talking about the 5-star review for not doing work, they're still helping their customer. They still want to help their customer. And they're still doing that when they, refer you out that way. But what a great idea sitting out there in your car. I love that, Jen. All right, guys. Let's get those questions going. We want to hear from you. What do you have for us this week? Everybody's quiet again, Laura.
Well,
Joanne, there we go. There we go. Joanne in Washington. Hello, my friend. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
Fabulous. What can we do for you?
So, just trying to get some feedback and perspective. When you are a witness to a trust and the signers ask, process and procedure, what's the next step? They ask the notary about it. And, I'm part of My Life and Wishes. So that's another service. I don't know what's a good procedure or way to insert that when the signers are the one asking.
Laura, do you want to ask the question again, Joanne? I'm a little confused.
Yeah,
Ask
I'm
it.
sorry, Joanne. It's really hard for me to understand what you're really asking.
So what I'm asking is, as a provider of another service, and I'm a witness in a trust signing.
Mm-hmm.
And so to insert another service in this signing that I'm not a part of a notary, I guess just what is the best practice or procedure to insert another service
Are
in
you
that when it's not my client?
are you saying like when you are there for as a witness to a
Yes.
trust signing, how do you then talk to them about the legacy vault?
Yeah, especially
Okay.
when the signers are the one who ask, because, just trying to be mindful to solicit your
Mhm.
service.
Laura, do you have anything you want to add? Or
I really have a difficult time when I'm there for a purpose and a role to get out of that role and say, hey, let me sell you something.
yeah.
I just am not comfortable with that. If I'm there as a witness, if I was the notary, it'd be different because I'm running the show. But if I was just asked by another notary to be the witness, then I don't feel like I'm in that seat that I could be offering up other services. I just don't feel it's appropriate. But that's me. I'm a little more conservative about that. I might do that as it came up, as I saw an opportunity when I'm in charge, but not when I've been asked to do something very specific.
I would agree there with Laura, Joanne, because when you are a witness, you're there in a supporting role. Um, it would be very awkward. And just thinking about if it was my signing and you were a witness, I would be like, what are you doing? This is my signing, right? Like but if you're managing the signing, it's a different kind of situation. Then you're offering them an option for something that can help them. But I think it does depend on what capacity that you are there in. So Matt, did you have something? Did I see you raise your hand?
No, but I kind of tend to be in the same camp. I think if you're there as a witness or even as the notary conducting the delivery of the trust, it's very awkward to then say, hey, I want to sell you this other service. However, I do think there is an opportunity for a follow-up marketing approach, right? Like, we met last week, just reaching out to make sure everything's okay. Oh, and by the way, I also am a representative for this great service, and then give them a rundown of what that service might be. So you can sell people extra services, but I don't agree that it's appropriate to do it right then when you're there doing something else.
Yeah. Does that help, Joanne?
It does. I guess the little info for that was that the notary that was running the show actually volunteered that information. But no, I appreciate that feedback.
Well, if they
Okay, well, that's a
volunteered
different
it,
scenario. Yeah.
yeah, Joanne, remember what you give us are the facts. And if
Okay.
there's other facts that you don't give us, then we're going to give you a different answer, right? So if the fact was the notary happened to volunteer it, what you could add to that is now that you have your trust, you might want to consider the best way to store it, right? Because that's what the legacy vault is about, storing it electronically. And if you'd love to have a conversation about that, I'm happy to do that. I could follow up with you. So if it got volunteered, you could wrap that around that way with a statement and then allow the signing itself to continue rather than having it stopped for that.
Okay. So that's a little different situation than when the information is volunteered.
Yeah, absolutely. If the person if the notary controlling the signing brings it up, then go for it. They're giving you the open door to do it. Yeah, I think you should make it an opportunity. And I also think too that all of the closings that you're doing, Joanne, up there in Washington and the Seattle area, you should be finding out if you're dealing with the general public who the attorney was. And as a My Life and Wishes partner, reaching out to that person, that attorney, and telling them about your product with My Life and Wishes.
Right.
Kind of like you would look at the CD, the closing disclosure, to find out who the realtor and all of that was, to send a
Right.
thank you note on loan closings. You want to, in conversation, find out who the attorney was so you can reach out to them, tell them how lovely their signers were and you enjoyed doing the job and this is how they found you and you would love to, set up an appointment to talk to him about the legacy vault that you have.
Gotcha. Okay.
All
Sounds,
right.
yeah,
And keep us posted.
thanks.
You got it. Thank you. Hi, Carmen. How are you? What is your question for us today?
Hi, Jen. I'm pretty good. This might be an early question because I know that next week is going to be talking all things marketing, but
Sure.
is there somewhere there's like a list telling us who we can market to? Like not who we can market to, but like you think estate planning attorneys right off, right? But then I know that we've talked about the legal document preparers and other people. So like, is there somewhere that we can reference a list of who all these people are? Because I think it's people that I wouldn't necessarily think of. And I know that I heard tax advisors too. Is that all tax advisors or is there a specific type that we would be looking for?
Okay, so there's two questions, and I'm actually going to let Matt Miller answer the first part of your question, but let me just, before it zips out of my head, my little brain here, let me, well, actually, Matt, go ahead. Go ahead. You answer the first question about the list of estate plan attorneys.
Sure. So yeah, to answer your question, Carmen, yes, there is a list of estate planning businesses and companies available to paid members of the CLIN. It's about 1,170 listings all across the country. And the reason that is important is because oftentimes estate planning attorneys and companies and organizations will sell their products across state lines, and they will need a local notary to service their local client in your area. So you can check that out at calnotaries.org, sign up. Every membership level, every paid membership level has access to the list. And then I'll let Jen answer the second part of your question.
Which, of course, I was thinking about your list, Matt. Okay, does that help with the first part, Carmen?
Yes.
Okay. And the second part, of course, it went out of my head. I knew I should have answered it first.
Different sectors. So I think, tax attorneys, tax preparers, tax advisors, financial advisors. I do a lot of work for Merrill Lynch, of just one example. But yes, there's few times in everyone's life where they're going to need a notary. So I think everyone is a prospect, but if you're looking to target, business to business or business to consumer, think about industries that deal with a lot of paperwork. So yes, tax, estate planning, family law, probate, real estate law, and there's many, many more, but those are just the ones that come to mind. Maybe Laura, you've got a few more suggestions.
I think she's
Jen?
talking to somebody. Yeah, I think wealth advisors is a good one. And I would say, Carmen, too, when you're dealing with tax people, you don't want to talk to tax preparers. You want to talk to tax advisors, business tax advisors, not necessarily the tax preparers, because it's kind of like the difference between a CPA and a bookkeeper and I'm not downplaying being a tax preparer at all, but the tax advisor, the business tax advisor would be the one to give you some really good information. That was an excellent question. Thank you so much. Did we answer it for you?
Yes, thank you. I
Awesome.
wrote down a bunch of notes too. Thank you.
Thanks, Carmen. And I know we're having Atlanta Conyers Notary has a question for us. So you feel free to unmute and go ahead and ask us.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. Hi. I guess your raised hand function isn't working. Tell me your first name.
My name is Gail. Everybody calls me Gigi.
Gigi. All right, Gigi in Georgia. What is your question for us
I'm
today?
glad to be here. I wanted to comment on a couple of things. I think Laura mentioned about paralegals and lawyers. I am a paralegal. I've been a paralegal for over 30 years and a notary for over 30 years. So I'm not new to being a notary, but I am new to being a notary entrepreneur, so to speak. So I'm still learning a lot. But it is true. Reach out to law firms and paralegals specifically. And they always need sometimes people to go see their clients who are in the hospital or wherever. Those are good. So that's what I'm doing right now is reaching out to all my old contacts, my old lawyers and people in the law firms and saying, I'm out here.
Yeah.
So that is good. And I went to a UPS store right next to my neighborhood and I was kind of pushed off. The guy said, "Oh, we have a notary." but I didn't think about offering those services after hours when they're closed or things that they don't want to do. So I think I'll
Yeah.
go back and talk to them again.
Well, the other thing, Gigi, especially with UPS, is they will not sign loan documents. They will not sign estate plans. They won't, and trusts. They won't sign. There's certain things that they will not notarize for you, even if the
Okay.
notary is on staff. So you can then say after hours and, whenever they're closed, but also for the documents that you do not notarize, if someone comes in, here's a stack of my business cards. If you would, be so kind as to pass them out, I'll
That's
be
so fine.
happy. And point out to them that this gives you an opportunity to still help service your client who's going to come back to you
Okay. Okay.
when they need it. So
My-
make sure that they know that.
Okay, and I'll do that. And so my question is this, because the notary business has changed a lot through the pandemic. Before
Oh,
the pandemic, I was in a law firm, and so I'm basically a captured notary and doing whatever the lawyer or law firm needs.
Mhm.
So outside of the pandemic, I'm learning that you guys have been really busy and doing all these wonderful things. So it was just kind of, and I spoke to another notary about it today. I guess I was a little confused about agencies like NNA saying that you have to be certified. And I'm like, why? I've been a notary for 30 years. The state of Georgia has commissioned me. Why do I need to pay somebody to say I'm certified?
Mhm.
And I understand that there are companies out there that really depend or believe in their certification. And I'm not saying it's bad, don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to find my way. I'm not really interested in doing loan signings. I just want to do general notary work. And I'm just trying, but I'm still getting a lot of pushback. I guess people are saying, oh, you're not NNA certified. And I'm like, do I really need to pay somebody an annual fee to say I'm a notary when I'm already a notary?
Well, now listen, and I'm going to answer this question as someone who has a certification program. Laura and I have a certification program out for estate planning. Not everyone who is a notary like you has legal experience.
Right.
I cannot walk into market to an estate planning attorney and say, I have been working with attorneys for 30 years. So
Right.
me having the certification and talking about that shows that I have been a notary for this many years and I have invested in my business to take this extra education and training to understand your business so that I
Right.
can help you in your business. Is certification necessary? Absolutely not. It is not required for anything in this business. Is it helpful when you're trying to build, like you said, you're an
Yeah.
entrepreneur now. You're not just a notary. And so
Right.
you need to find different ways to get in front of people. And that's where these certifications come in, as well as obviously teaching people the documents that they need to know
Yeah.
that's in a trust package, which you could probably do with your eyes closed because you've been in that environment for 30 years, but most of us
Yeah.
have not. Now,
Yes.
when it comes to the NNA in the business world, and I'm absolutely going to have Laura and Matt and Jen speak to this as well, because this is important. And by the way, guys, next month, Nicola Jackson, the Director of Training and Education at the NNA, is going to be our special guest on TNT. That'll be the second week in August. But the importance of NNA membership is just like the executive estate planning panels that exist in your town in Atlanta. They join them, professionals join professional organizations. So it allows you to show your community that, again, you are not just out here doing this alone. You are part of a national organization that is specifically for your line of work, being a notary. And for that, it is invaluable
Invaluable.
because
Yeah.
other folks don't understand our business, but being able to say, I'm a member of the National Notary Association helps. allows them to open their eyes and see, oh, this is somebody who is not just out here, cowgirl with her
Right.
stamp, just stamping anything she wants, right? She's a professional. She's part of a
Yeah.
professional organization. So for that, and the little
Yeah.
they charge for that, it is important. But Laura, as an NNA employee, I would love your perspective on this. Is a great conversation, Gigi. No, don't
It
feel,
is.
don't feel bad.
And I
feel
do
bad.
see the value in it. I mean, I don't want anybody to get me wrong about that, because I know that Georgia has just started this year instituting online training, a training course that we have to go through before we renew our commission. And in that one meeting, it was extremely clear to me how many people have become a notary, because it's easy to become a notary in Georgia, and don't know the first thing about what they're doing, or what the they don't even know what a notarial certificate looks like. I mean, it's just weird. So I understand the value of it. I really do. I just kind of felt like, it just kind of felt weird to me that I was having to make sure I do this just to do work I've been doing for years.
Right. No, you don't have to have it. And that's the, bottom line. But Laura, and please don't, she's not taking offense to any of this. Are you,
No.
Laura? Yeah, no.
So I don't know that I really need to go over the value of membership with the NNA. They have a hotline, they provide training, and here is the thing, and you just hit on it at the end of what I heard you say, which is every state is different. There are numerous states that don't require any training, and that's why notaries don't know what they're doing. First of all. Second of all, even in the states that do offer training, including the state of California, which requires it, notaries don't know what the heck they're doing. So it doesn't even matter when they have the training. The third thing is that anytime that we can demonstrate for the potential customers that we are continuing our education, no matter how long we've been a notary, and that we're getting specialized training, and the NNA certification is only for the loan signings. They don't certify for anything else.
Yeah.
So it's only for that particular one. Jen and I are doing estate planning only, not for anything else. All right. But even still, you don't need a certification, and I'm not aware that there's one, to be in a hospital. But are you qualified to go into a hospital just because you've been a notary for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? Doesn't mean you know how to work in that environment. There are so many extra requirements of you navigating that is beyond putting your signature and your stamp on a piece of paper.
Right.
And I'm 21 years, you're 30 years. I've got notaries that's only ever handled in 30 years an acknowledgement. I've got notaries who have only ever handled one kind of document because they did it for their employment and they don't know about other documents.
Right.
Because of this level of variety and disparity amongst education, training, and experience, certifications, and whether or not there's actually a certificate, just participating is a way to help fill in the gaps for all of us. And so anybody who says you have to do this, no, that's a big fat lie. You don't have to do anything. You could go on your own experience, and that's fine. However, as a business person, why wouldn't you? That's where I'd see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Matt had something he wanted to add to this conversation as well. Matt?
I do. I feel for you, Gigi, because, the notary world for a very, very long time was this quiet little sleepy corner of the legal services industry. But what I can tell you is in the past 5 to 10 years, everybody's paying attention now. The title industry, the lending industry, the federal government, the lawyers, the attorneys, because of the incredible rise in fraud, right? So now everyone's at the table, everyone's paying attention. So while, as the others have said, there might not be any statutory mandate that you have at continuing education and certifications, but I would argue that there is an ethical and industry requirement to do this, because what's happening now, Gigi, is because everyone is paying attention. Notaries that do have the certifications are getting the work, and notaries that don't have the certifications, no matter how long you've been in the business, aren't getting the work.
Right.
It's like the attorneys, right? You come from the legal world. The attorneys, they don't have to be a member of their local bar association, but if they want work, they better be, right?
Mhm. Right.
So if that helps put it in
More than
perspective
one.
for you,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. I mean, that's exactly what I'm feeling. Even though I'm not interested in doing loan signings, and I know that that's what NNA does, it just feels like I still need to,
I still think
you know,
a
do it.
membership would be helpful for you
Okay.
because it's national recognition and attorneys and all kinds of professionals who use notaries, they know now,
Mhm.
oh, that's what I got to look for.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I
That-
appreciate you guys clearing that up for me.
Yeah.
You know.
And Jen, did you have something, Jen? I thought I
Well,
saw your hand up there.
I think that Laura kind of covered it. Are you just, I have a question. Are you having people ask you about NNA certification for anything outside of loan signings?
No, nobody has specifically
That's where they're
asked
gonna ask.
me.
Yeah.
But when you're online and you're signing up for these different directories and notary resources, I mean, I tell you, I purchased my E&O through NNA, and so I've kind of been bombarded with you're not a member, you're not a member,
Yeah.
and just other notaries that I know have I see it on everybody's website that they're NNA certified, and I'm like, I know some of
That's
these
loan
notaries,
signings.
yeah.
That's loan signings. And the reason why, and I just want to point out again, Laura's told you loan signing certification, a lot of title offices require it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of signing services require it.
Mhm.
So if you start moving into that area of notarizations, you will hit that wall because of the expectations that people have of loan signing agents that have been trained through the NNA. So
Yeah.
Just the clarification of that's why that's happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because we're an attorney state, I intended to stay away from it. I know a lot of people still kind of go into it, even in Georgia. I know attorneys who do that on the side, but I never had any intention of going into loan signings. I figured, once Georgia opens it up.
You can survive as a notary and thrive as a notary and never,
Absolutely.
ever sign a loan package.
Right.
So
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. What a great conversation. Thank you, Gigi, for sparking that today. Cause that is,
Thank you.
because we get that question a lot, obviously, as creators of certifications, like, why is this even necessary? And it's not for some people, but some people like myself, who haven't worked in that space for a while, they need it. So
Yeah. I
that's
get it.
what's important about it. Yeah. So thank you for bringing that up. I love that.
Thank you guys for being available.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, we're here every Tuesday, girl. Come back every Tuesday. We love seeing you. I was going to have Laura tell us how you guys can connect with her outside of this call. She looks like she's talking to somebody. It looks like she's got a notary that she's talking to. So Jen,
I can tell.
yeah, okay. Let's have Jen Cooper tell us.
You can get a hold of Laura a couple different ways. She does have a weekly call on Saturdays called Laura's Inner Circle. It's much like this, except it's Laura and Matt, and I am there sometimes too. Great question and answer. Free coaching, guys. This is another free coaching opportunity, and I'm going to put the link to register for that in the chat right now. I'm also going to put all the links to Laura's products and her social media so that you guys can find her there. Is that good? Is that a little too broken?
Laura, you were busy, so I recruited
talking
Jen
to
to be your
somebody.
salesperson.
Yeah, thank you. So just to say out loud that Laura's Inner Circle, you have to go to coachmelora.com in order
It's in
to
there.
register for Laura's Inner Circle and get that free coaching. For those of you who are in the audience and can't see the links that are going into the chat. Also, you can find me at Got Notary for Facebook, and you can find me at my name, Laura J. Beaver for LinkedIn. And my Instagram is Laura at your service. So those are the different ways that you can find me as you're navigating.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys, that Laura Inner Circle. I mean, first of all, like this call, I love this call. This is we always have the best conversations. The last few weeks have been just fire conversations, and I love it.
Yes.
And Laura and Matt consistently do the same thing on a Saturday. So if you are looking for free coaching opportunities with the GOAT, get on that Saturday call, because Laura, it's a little more intimate on Saturdays with you guys, right?
Well, our group's kind of big now. Sometimes we're 80, 90.
Bigger.
But here's what I'll tell you is that it's very heavy technical. Meaning, if you want to practice, deliberate practice, and getting better at notary skill, that's the call you want to attend.
Yeah.
Somebody might ask me a marketing question, but it's not very often. Really, we're focused in on the notary skill itself.
Yeah. And I'm going to use this as a segue because next week is a marketing day at TNT. So I want you guys to spend this next week thinking about marketing situations that maybe you weren't sure how to handle. Maybe you've handled them, but it's one of those things where you look back and go, should I have done this? Should I have done that? How should I have handled it? Bring those next week. Let's get down and dirty with this marketing thing, because here's what I know. Here's what I know. How many are on this call? There's 55 on this call right now. I would say 50 of you are not doing regular marketing. And I see a few little smiles, Michaela. I saw that, like, that's me. She's calling me out. But that is how, Gigi's saying now she's a notary entrepreneur. And I love that saying, a notary entrepreneur, because it is so different than being just a notary. But marketing is everything. And so we are excited to dedicate an entire hour next week to solving all of those big problems, that marketing problems you guys have. Because here's another thing I know: if you've had the problem, somebody else has too. So we're all going to benefit from those solutions. Hey, Carmen, you're in Oregon, right, Carmen?
Yeah, Oregon.
Yeah. Tell
I
me.
actually did a question on one of the surveys that gets sent to the email. So it might be a better question for next week, but I was wondering.
Bring it up. We've got a few minutes. So yeah,
Okay.
This is a great time.
I was just wondering, like, the benefits or drawbacks of somebody being an independent contractor, like sole proprietor, versus an LLC. And do you think that it's necessary to do an LLC for, I don't know, protection purposes, or does it make a big difference?
So this is a great question, Carmen. And it is a question that Laura and I are never actually going to answer for you, because we do not know your specific situation. I don't know your state laws. Here's what I will tell you. I have an LLC because in the state of Texas, that protects my personal interests and keeps it separate from my business should someone try and sue me for some reason. And I have my insurances set up for that reason under the LLC as well. But how you set up your business should be a conversation that you have with your tax advisor, your attorney, or whoever it is that and if you don't have one, I advise you to find one. They'll do complimentary appointments, a lot of these tax advisors and attorneys, and a business attorney, and ask them those questions, because every single one of our situations is different. I don't know how much money you have in the bank. I don't know if you own your house or not. I don't know what your financial situation is. So it's really not something that we can answer on a call like this, because everybody's situation is different. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Awesome.
It makes perfect
But
sense.
we get this question, and I love when it comes up, because I think it's an excellent reminder for things like setting up your business, you guys. It's not a question you take to Facebook University, right? You don't want to take advice from just anybody, because what you have to protect that's in your home, in your 401k, in your investments, in your assets could be $3 million. It could be $3, right? And it's going to depend on how, what it is that you want and what you have. Matt, did you have something? I saw a look. I don't know if you had something you wanted to add.
Yeah, just something to consider. There are tax implications to having an LLC as well. Some states, like the bigger states like New York and California, charge you a fee just for having it, right? Even if you do nothing with it. So as Jen said, make sure you talk to someone before opening up an LLC, because it can be costly to stand up an LLC. It can be costly to unwind an LLC.
Yeah.
Yes.
And and in California, it is costly. I know here in Texas, it's about 300 and between 350 and $400 to open an LLC, and we have to file franchise taxes every year. But that's just Texas. It's what, $800, I think. And
It's 800 annually in California, and there have,
annually,
or monthly, or is it monthly or annually?
Annually,
annually,
and
annually.
1,200 in New York. So
And
Yeah.
1,200 in New York. So get on there, Carmen, research what is required for those things in your state, and then take that information along with, your personal information, and talk to a business attorney or a business tax advisor for that information. Or
Yeah.
if you have a wealth advisor that your family uses, a financial planner that your family uses, that might be a good place to start as well.
Okay, that was helpful. And I have one more small question.
Sure.
Do you recommend putting our commission like proof on like our LinkedIn and things like that?
So I do not do that because I don't want, and there's so much notary fraud that is happening specifically around deeds right now that, I mean, obviously anybody can access our information, but I don't believe in making it easy for anybody to
Yeah.
access our information. Matt, what do you say?
yeah, this is something that was talked about at the NNA conference this year, in an effort to help combat deed fraud. Is the suggestion from Bill Anderson, the VP of Government Affairs, was advising notaries, don't put your commission number and expiration date on your website and your directory listings, because that just makes it so easy for a bad actor to grab that information, make a fake stamp, for example, and then, of course, commit fraud. So let's not make it easy for them, guys.
Thank you.
And more than that, it doesn't benefit anybody to know your number of your commission. Like it's
not proof. Yeah.
no purpose for it. They can look you up in your state just by your name.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point, Jen. Yeah, that is true. And yeah, I mean, I think we need to be diligent on our end about combating deed fraud as well as notaries, because if you don't know about the Graceland story and how Graceland was almost stolen out from underneath the Presley family just a few months ago, was it 6 months?
Last year, yeah.
I don't even know if it's been a year, but
Last summer.
go Google that, notary / Graceland / say deed fraud, and you will get the whole story. And let me tell you, they came real damn close.
It's so crazy that those things can even happen, but yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you,
so we
guys.
want to protect our stamp too. Laura, do you have anything to add about that? I know I saw you.
No, I think you could.
Okay, thanks. And
Question, Carmen. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Jen, what?
I said that was a great question, Carmen. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it was a great question. I love those questions.
And
our last question,
I just wanted to add something to that. As a paralegal. I thought it was odd when I started doing this as an entrepreneur that a lot of notaries would put that they were insured, how much their policy was. In the legal world, that's a big no-no, because we live in a stubbornly litigious society, and the fact that you have a policy and it's $1 million, it's people going to come after you just for that. So I just thought that was kind of strange that was happening in our profession.
And that is a direct result of all of us notaries believing for so long that it was all about the loan signing business, right? And that was our way of trying to get hired by a specific title company. But Gigi, you are speaking Laura Beaver's language, because I know she is passionate about that as well, right, Laura? Not advertising your E&O?
Yeah, there's no reason to do that. The fact that you have E&O, if somebody says, are you bonded? Yeah, I am. Do you have insurance? Yeah, I do. I don't need to be giving them information about that.
And that doesn't happen like in the estate planning world. You're never going to have an attorney that's going to come to you and say, how much E&O do you have? It just doesn't happen. Doesn't mean you don't need it. It just, but to your point, Gigi, yeah, if you're out there saying, I have a $500,000 or $1 million policy, you are just opening the door for somebody to figure out a way to hire you and then turn around and sue you for something, right? So excellent, excellent point. All right, guys.
That was Atlanta's.
I'm sorry, Jen.
That wasn't Gigi's. That was the Atlanta Atlanta's
That's
concierge notary. Yeah.
That's
Oh, that's Gigi. We got a lot of Gigi's in here today.
We are at the end of our time, you guys. I can't believe this call, like every week, feels like it lasts 10 minutes, doesn't it? It's just shoo, flies right by. But I want to tell you, I fixed the survey finally, you guys. So after this call, you're going to have like a 4 or 5 question survey, really simple, but it really means a lot to Laura and I if you could take the time to fill out that survey and let us know what we can do to make this call better for you. Because while this is an opportunity for Laura and I to come on and provide free guidance and advice and talk about our products, what's really important is that we are meeting your needs. So please take the time to fill out that survey. Don't forget, next week, all about marketing on TNT. And Jen and I will be hosting. Matt and Laura are going to be tied up doing some other things. So Jen and I are taking the helm, and we will see you guys all next week on TNT. Thanks so much. Bye.
See you later.